It's time now for the Peter Channel News Late Night Report. Wednesday, October 1st, 2014. Good evening, everybody. I'm Peter Wiggins, and your news headlines here at the 11th hour on this Wednesday night. Our top story at 11 o'clock is the man diagnosed with Ebola virus in Dallas first started feeling ill on September 24th, and he showed up to Texas Health Presbyterian Hospital on September 26th, complaining of fever and abdominal pain. Julia Pearson resigned as Secret Service Director on Wednesday after just 1.5 years on the job, following a series of major security lapses that eroded President Obama's confidence in her ability to run the agency tasked with protecting him. One picture of 35,000 walruses showed one affected global wilderness. In this air photo taken on Saturday and provided by NOAA, some 35,000 walruses gathered on shore near Plain, Alaska. Mexico City, Hector Beltran Leia, one of the most notorious Mexican drug lords still at large, was captured on Wednesday by soldiers at a seafood restaurant in Petra town in central Mexico, popular with American retirees. Bill Gross may be gone, but his strategy lives on at PIMCO. September said Volk stung by slamming in October. December says just a total of 4 runs and 5 September starts. As in the top of 8, the San Francisco Giants leading the Pittsburgh Pirates at PNC Park in Pittsburgh, 8-0 in Pittsburgh. Only 17, Joshua Wong Kent Hartford, but he's at the forefront of the student movement for democracy in Hong Kong. Tel Aviv University is one of the Israeli institutions in the top 200 times higher education world university rankings released on Wednesday. The number of Jews in Taiwan was not large enough to influence any future agreement, experts say. Well on! David Cameron's questioned by his wife Samantha for his well-received speech to the Conservative Party conference in Birmingham. A pair of bombs ripped at a school compound on Wednesday. The government-controlled Syrian city of Homs, killing at least 32 people, most of them children, and wounding scores of others. The state media reported. In McLean, Virginia, police have revealed next to nothing about it. Evidence they have against Jesse Leroy Matthew Jr. and they won't have for months to come. The Clemson University student who died Monday after falling 2 stories death on board a Carnival cruise climbed to the front master watch to early morning sunrise. Sacramento, California. The judge presiding over the struggling California bankruptcy case said on Wednesday that he will wait until late October. Kevin Orr, the city's emergency manager last year, led to trade into bankruptcy, testified at the federal court today to support a plan to help turn around the city in the next decade. Comptroller star Adam Stringer unveiled a letter grading system on Wednesday that rates New York City agencies in terms of spending on their goods and services provided by businesses owned by women and minorities. Bank of America Corporation named Chief Executive Brian Moynihan as chairman of the board, effective immediately as succeeds Charles Chan Holiday, the former chief executive of the chemical company E.I. DuPont. Facebook apologized on Wednesday for what it said was misunderstandings about its policy regarding user to use their real name in their social network. Policy interpreted by someone to mean that Facebook reserved the right to determine how someone. Defense Reserve's newest project is a PC connected mill machine that aims to streamline the process of self-assembling AR-15 self-automatic rifles. Hong Kong cell phone pro-democracy protesters charged their mobile phone as they gathered at Hong Kong's Mongkok district during a rally in September. That 70s baby is here. Mela Kunis and Ashton Kutcher, now parents to a baby girl, according to reports out of Wednesday. The former 70s show star said they welcomed their baby daughter Tuesday in Los Angeles. It's not like Jennifer Garner seen her hubby Ben Affleck naked, but it's not to know that the Oscar winner and a gentleman and Wonder's wife about as much talked about Golden Girl nudity. Many have assumed that the craters roughly formerly the shape of a human face on the moon surface were formed by space rocks, but new research supports it to claim that it came from within our only natural satellite. For the first time ever, scientists have witnessed the acquisition and spread out of new behavior to new feeding methods among wild chimpanzees. London, British might restore planned cuts in aid in budget for Sierra Leone and Liberia in light of the Ebola request to sweep and fight West Africa, a parliamentary committee said on Thursday. At least 4 people have died after contracted a severe respiratory illness that has spread to more than 40 states, public officials said on Wednesday. The virus, here. And one of them is a girl from Cumberland, Rhode Island, here, who was 100% healthy until she went to hospital and they died of that mysterious disease. Despite her work with women's issues, Democrat Matt Coakley struggled against Republican Charlie Baker in the later supports for the race for the governor of Massachusetts. Drivers who use Route 6 Stanley Cape Cod will likely notice all of the trees in a stretch of median almost gone as a tree clearing project outrages the residents on the Cape. Gregory Lewis, a software, has been on the run since September 15 when he cut off his court-ordered GPS ankle bracelet in North Carolina 40s. A singing warden not for him and allegedly kidnapped and robbed a woman in that state. Saugus woman and reportedly being sexually assaulted at knife point while she was out running with her dog, Saugus police said. Home surveillance footage from inside Aaron Hernandez's home as police executed search warrant last year was shown in court today. Governor Deval Patrick is returning to Massachusetts residents after the first Ebola patient diagnosed in the U.S. was from Dallas, and he said that the Massachusetts is preparing for its Ebola. The Boston Herald issued an apology Wednesday for a political cartoon mocking President Obama and the Secret Service in the editorial page. The Afghan soldiers who fled Cape Cod base said they feared that he would be killed in prison and tortured if they returned to Afghanistan. Legendary Seven Downs has raised an application from a group that hopes that the legendary racetrack be open for the 2015 racing season. Bomb threats were emailed to the Bedford High School in Massachusetts and New Hampshire, and also bomb threat was led to the evacuation of Sandy Hook Elementary School in Connecticut today. In Cranston, Rhode Island, an armed robbery in the Ekid Daily Mart convenience store on 1814 Broad Street as a store was robbed by two males. They fled in there in a dark sedan. Here. Oh, Peter Channel News Star. It's now 11:06 and it's time now for the traffic report, and our only slow spot is Mass back on the westbound side, slow from South Boston all the way out to the Boston Benton tolls here. And in Boston work crew on South Store Drive eastbound at Longfellow Bridge is reported by DOT. In Western off-ramp, Blockland Route 120 northbound and exit 25 Mass Park reported by DOT. But otherwise, smooth sailing can be on this late Wednesday night here. Try to take it easy because it's wet out. And take a look at our weather situation here at 11:07 here. 59 degrees of temperature, overcast skies, humidity 93%, wind speed north about 6 miles per barometer, 3.07 inches, throughput about 57 degrees, and a visibility of 9 miles. Alright, take a look at our current conditions around the region here at the 11th hour. 57 degrees of temperature right now in Boston and Pittsburgh and Beverly and Haverhill, 56 in Gloucester, 54 in Worcester, 55 in Sturbridge and in Milford, 56 in Webster, 58 in Norwood, 59 in Taunton, 60 in Bedford, 61 in Plymouth and Provincetown, and in Chatham, got 60 degrees, 61 in Cape Cod Bay from Martha's Vineyard, 59 in Falmouth, 16 in Nantucket, 59 in Block Island, 58 in Westleaf, 59 in Smithfield and Providence, 59 in TF Green and Warwick. It's 60 out in Montauk, 61 in Islip, 63 in New York City, 68 in Bridgeport, 61 in Waven, 58 in Danbury, 57 in Waterbury, 59 in Meriden, 59 in Hartford, 60 in Windsor Locks, it's 59 in Springfield, it's 56 in Amherst, 58 in Greenfield, 56 in Pittsfield, 57 in North Adams, it's 61 in Albany, 58 out of Maine, 54 in Brattleboro, 57 in Keene, New Hampshire, 55 in Jeffrey, New Hampshire, 56 in Concord, New Hampshire, 54 in Manchester, New Hampshire, 57 in Nashville, New Hampshire, Portsmouth, New Hampshire, and 57 out in Portland, Maine. Here. Take a look at our map situation around the country. Here's cold front from Southern California stretching out to the sea. Another cold front from Arizona stretching into New Mexico up to Colorado. Warm front from Texas, a cold front from Oklahoma stretching up to Kansas, Nebraska. Collided with a warm front from southern Minnesota down for Iowa, down for Missouri, down for western Kentucky, and a pink front from Minnesota up into Manitoba. Here we got a cold front from Saskatchewan up into Manitoba. Station front in the Gulf of Mexico and northern Florida, and a cold front out to sea. And a station front off the New England, Nova Scotia coastlines. Here. And we also got a front line from off the Oregon down from the Northern California coastline here. And got a front line from South Central British coming up to central Washington, Oregon. In here. High pressure in eastern Quebec and eastern Oregon, and low pressure in western Arizona, off to southern California, off the Gulf of California, Guadalajara, Mexico, and western Oklahoma here. 60 degrees of temperature right now in Pittsburgh, 70 in Washington, D.C., 74 in Atlanta, 85 in Miami, 88 in Dallas, Texas, 83 in Brownsville, Texas. It's 69 in Kansas City, 67 in Omaha, 66 in Chicago, 61 in Minneapolis. Now, 61 in Detroit, 57 in Minneapolis, with a low pressure in central Minnesota and central Manitoba here. And western Washington State, 62 in Seattle, 51 in Great Falls, Montana. It's 79 in San Francisco, 69 in Los Angeles, 76 in Las Vegas, 53 in Salt Lake City, 44 in Denver, 74 in Albuquerque, and 84 out in Phoenix, Arizona here. Take a look at our little radar situation in the 11 hours. So some spotty moderate bands of rain from to the Cape and Islands and up in the South Shore and up in the Greater Boston and down for Metro-West around central and western portions of Massachusetts up in the Northern Connecticut. And then in northwestern Rhode Island, rain showers by the southeastern portion of Rhode Island, also raining from western and south central New Hampshire down for eastern New Hampshire down for southern Maine. A lot of rain showers from central portions of New Hampshire down for the eastern portions of Vermont. A lot of rain showers by Albany, New York. Here. Take a look at our map situation here and shows a line of rain showers around the Florida coastlines from Fair Beach and down for Fort Lauderdale and off of Miami, Florida, around the Bahamas here. And a line of rain showers that fuse from some western Illinois, certain in the eastern and western portions of Missouri down to central and north portions of Kansas and central portions of Oklahoma and northwestern portions of Texas. A lot of rain showers from eastern Colorado and western Kansas down for western and eastern portions of Nebraska up in the northwestern Iowa down for southern Minnesota. A lot of rain showers from northeast Wisconsin up into UP and Michigan down for seven portions of Ontario. And a lot of rain showers from the northwestern portions of North Dakota down to southeastern portions of Canada. Here, southeastern portions of Manitoba down to southeastern portions of Saskatchewan. Here, snow, sleet, and rain showers from eastern British Columbia down for western Alberta down for southeastern and northeastern portions of Alberta and western Saskatchewan. And some snow, sleet, and rain showers from Colorado. Here. Okay, let's take a look what is going on in the satellite loop here. Take a look at the satellite loop. Shows line of clouds coming from New England off the Florida East Coast, western Gulf Coast and down for Middle Mississippi Valley, stretching down for central and northern plains states of the Dakotas, and down for Wyoming, down for Colorado, down for northern New Mexico here. And have a line of clouds from Washington State to northern Idaho, down for northwestern Mexico, up in the eastern British Columbia and Alberta, and down for western Saskatchewan. And some patchy clouds from Manitoba and up in Ontario here. Line of clouds coming from central Kansas, Oklahoma, and down for north central Texas here. And we got two tropical depressions here in the Atlantic. A non-tropical gale located about 350 miles south-southeast of Halifax, Nova Scotia, is producing some activity northeast of the center, and environmental conditions are expected to remain unfavorable for tropical cyclone formation while this system interacts with an upper level low and a surface front. During the next couple of days, information about the system, please see high seas forecast issued by the National Weather Service. Formation chance for us. Low 10% formation chance for 5 days. Low 10% here. And the surface number to a smaller if low pressure is located about 700 miles east northeast of Bermuda to produce the dorsal line. Showers up thunderstorms. Significant available to system is not expected with its range over marginally warm waters by Thursday. The lowest movement abruptly toward the north is expected to move over the much colder waters by Friday, and then the chance of development as a tropical cyclone. Formation chance for hours. Low 10% formation chance for 5 days. Low 10% here. And latest on tropical depression 1980 years, 70.8 to the north, 105.4 to the west. Max the same with about 35 miles per movement west northwest about 10 miles per hour. Here. And our latest tropical depression 1980 public advisory at 11 o'clock, 8 p.m. their time here in Pacific Coast. And yet another tropical cyclone forward near the southwestern coast of Mexico as there are no close watch to the water's effect at 8 p.m. Pacific time. 3 of UTC, the center of tropical depression, 1980 was located near latitude 17.8 to the north, longitude 105.5 to the west, and the depression is moving toward the west-northwest speed 10 miles per hour. 17 kilometers an hour, and the general west-northwest motion is expected to continue Friday under the forecast tracking to the center of the cyclone will gradually move away from the southwestern coast of Mexico tonight and into Thursday. Marks would say with a new 35 miles or 55 kilometers with higher gusts, and the depression is forecast to become a tropical storm on Thursday. The estimated limit of surface pressure is 1,003 millibars with 29.62 inches here. The pressure is expected to produce rainfall about 3 to 5 inches possible. It's slated about 8 inches Possible fight across western Guerrero and Michoacan. Climate, western Jalisco and Nayarit in western Mexico. The rains could cause flash buttons and mudslides. See? And now for Moon and Central Pacific for Friday afternoon here. And take a look at forecast discussion around the country. There'll be a slight risk of severe thunderstorms over parts of the central southern plains and middle Mississippi Valley. Heavy rain possible over parts of the middle Mississippi Valley and parts of the Great Lakes, Ohio Valley, and further extending from the upper Mississippi Valley southward to the 7-9 plains will move eastward to the Great Lakes to the lower Mississippi Valley by Friday. Moisture will pull along the boundary in the development of showers and thunderstorms over the middle Mississippi Valley and will expand southward into the southern plains by Thursday morning. These showers and thunderstorms expand by northward into the upper Great Lakes by Thursday evening. Heavy rain by Friday morning. Showers and thunderstorms will extend from the Great Lakes southward to the lower Mississippi Valley. Central Gulf Coast with moderate rain. In addition, rain will develop over parts of the upper Great Lakes on Wednesday evening will move into southern Canada by Friday morning here. Meanwhile, upper level in June later produced moderate heavy rain over parts of the central high plains on Wednesday evening, moving into the central plains on Thursday as the intensity weakens or light to the moderate rain, and rain and snow will develop over the parts of the higher elevations of the central Rockies on Wednesday evening. Additional upper level in June into the northern Missouri state and move southeastward to the upper Mississippi Valley and central plains by Friday. The energy delayed into developing some rain and snow over the parts of the northern high plains and northern Rockies on Thursday morning into the moving parts of the northern plains by Friday. Furthermore, rain also developed over parts of the northern high plains and then move eastward to the upper Mississippi Valley by Thursday. Elsewhere, low pressure off the New England coast will produce potential of moderate to heavy rain over parts of the New England coast on Wednesday evening that will slowly wane overnight, ending on Thursday. Here. Okay, forecast discussion around the region here. The cool, wet weather continues to the early Wednesday and an early Thursday as high pressure begins to bring dry air back in the lake tomorrow into Friday as a frontal system will bring a period of rain Saturday to Saturday evening, followed by cooler weather Sunday. Temperatures moderate early next week, and there are chances of showers Tuesday as another front approaches. 10 p.m. update. Plans about moderate heavy bands of rain continue to perpetuate across southeastern Massachusetts this evening. The heaviest rainfall appears to be staying a bit farther offshore than originally anticipated, but not enough certainty to say from the previous forecast made a few minor edits to the temperatures are being them close to the line where the current outward forecast is on track. Here, and take a look at today's highs, tomorrow's highs. Pair 58 for Boston and Providence, 62 for Hartford, 67 in New York City, 70 in Albany, 66 in Redmond, 64 in Concord, and 63 in Portland. So, tomorrow's temperature range for tomorrow, 58 to 70 degrees here. And flood watch tonight for southeastern New England here. It's periods of rain tonight. Heaviest 7 in New England localized 3 to 6 inches of rainfall amounts possible far southeast Massachusetts and urban base been flooded and possible in flood watch area here. Alright, let's take a look at our 7-day forecast. It goes like this here. Why, yes, sleeping in the overnight hours tonight. Rain, patchy fog, low around 52 degrees and north at about 7 to 10 miles per hour. Wind gust size 20 miles per hour. Chance of precipitation is 100% of the precipitation amounts between 1/2 and 3/4 inch possible. Thursday, rain likely maybe before 1 p.m. Patchy fog before 1 p.m. or as clouds got high and 59 degrees and north at about 11 miles per hour. Chance of precipitation is 6%. New precipitation amounts between 10 and 4 inch possible. Thursday night, clouds got low 46 degrees and north at about 5 miles per hour. Friday, most of the sunny clouds were high near 63 degrees in the northeast with about 6 to 9 miles per hour. Friday night, chance of drizzle after 10 p.m. Most clouds got low 51 degrees. Northeast with about 3 to 6 miles per hour. Saturday, chance of drizzle before 9 a.m. Then showers likely. Then mainly after 5 p.m. Clouds got high near 68 degrees and precipitation 50%. Saturday night, showers likely before 1 a.m. Most clouds got low 47 degrees and precipitation 70%. Sunday, sun's got near 65 degrees. Saturday night, most of the clouds got low 44 degrees. Monday, most of the sun and most clouds got high about 67, low about 52 degrees. Tuesday, chance of showers, partly sunny and most clouds got high about 71, low about 51 degrees. Transportation 30% Wednesday, Puck South got about 69 degrees. Birders, what a phrase of the night. A wet Thursday morning to start with, but rounded out to be a clear afternoon on top on this. Wednesday night on this first day of October here, and last night's American League wildcard game between the Kansas City Royals and the Oakland Athletics was a thriller in Kansas City. Out in the Steel City of Pittsburgh, it was a one-sided affair as the San Francisco Giants are carrying an 8-0 lead in the bottom of the ninth, finishing here with 2 strikes and 2 down in the bottom of the ninth. And it looks like the way they're going, the San Francisco Giants are on the way to meet the Washington Nationals in the National League Divisional Series here as top of the fourth, the San Francisco Giants got things going as Brandon Crawford hit a grand slam to right field as Brandon Crawford scores, Pablo Sandoval scores, Hunter Pence scores, and Brandon Belt scores 4-0 in favor of the San Francisco Giants. And then Brandon Belt in the top of 6 singles on a ground ball to right fielder Travis Snyder deflected by second baseman Neil Walker and Hunter Pence scores 5-0 in favor of the Giants here. And then top of the 7th, Brandon Belt singles on a soft line drive to center fielder Andrew McCutcheon and Buster Posey scores, and Pablo Sandoval scores. Hunter Pence to second base, and it was 7-0 in favor of the Giants here. And then top of the 8th, Buster Posey singles on a ground ball to center fielder Andrew McCutcheon and Gregory Blanco scores, and Joe Panik to second as the San Francisco Giants just got over here out in Pittsburgh. Blank that Pittsburgh Pirates 8-0 in here, and moving on to the divisional series here to meet the Washington Nationals, and game 1 will be Friday afternoon at 3 o'clock in D.C. here. So it'll be the divisional series here. It'll be Kansas City taking on Los Angeles Angels. Game time 9 p.m. for game 1 on October 7th. And it'll be Detroit and Baltimore in the AL Divisional Series. National League Divisional Series have St. Louis and Los Angeles, and then San Francisco and Washington. So it's going to be an exciting Major League Baseball playoffs here. Take a look at the National Hockey League scores here on this. Late Wednesday night NHL preseason scores here. In progress, it is Edmonton leading Arizona Coyotes 3-2 in the third period here. It was Buffalo thumping Washington 6-1. Columbus 6, Carolina 3. Pittsburgh blanket Detroit 2-0 and Montreal 3, Chicago 1. Take a look at sports news here on this Wednesday night here. Dallas Cowboys safety C.J. Spillman is being investigated in connection with alleged sexual assault in Teams Hotel on September 20th, according to Grapevine, Texas police. In Cleveland, it was just a practice that's considered dirty. Cleveland Cavaliers are a finished product, but with this, LeBron James returned a quick low Twitter on Wednesday night was 7 extraordinary. Returning golf caddy Steve Woods said he considered resuming his partnership with Tiger Woods on a part-time basis next year. Oakland Athletic manager Bob Melvin has many regrets about the Oakland 12-day loss to the Kansas City Royals that knocked Oakland out of the American League playoffs. American soccer star Abby Warbeck and a group of elite international players filed a lawsuit in Canada over Wednesday charging plans to play 2015 Women's World Cup on an artificial turf. Malmo won the Swedish League last season and made its way 5-2 qualifying rounds before arriving at the 32-team Championship League group stage. DirecTV and the NFL have agreed to extend the NFL Sunday ticket package an 8-year, $12 million deal that said expand the broadcast rights to stream the football games online and mobile devices. While New England certainly looked bad on both sides of the ball, Monday night's loss to several Bengals players say they don't expect that type of performance from the Patriots this Sunday night. Red-eyed and Soiner's words, Olympic swimmer Michael Phelps had a blood alcohol level of 1.14, well above the State limited opening winning with less than a chunk with drunken driving Tuesday morning after leaving the Horseshoe Casino in Baltimore. Lloyd O'Donnell is a better pass catcher than he is in a fantasy football general manager. Some NFL players don't partake in fantasy football and don't want to hear about how they have to play better because your team is suffering. Jim Schwartz will make his first visit to Ford Field since he was fired at the end of last year with a 29-1 record as the Buffalo Bills will square up against the Detroit Lions. Also, Humanoid will return to MetLife Stadium after the Atlanta Falcons face the New York Giants as Carolina Panthers Alexander suspended 10 games violent substitute abuse policy. Norway pulled the plug on the host was bid to the 2022 Winter Olympics citing the cost of hosting the games and lack of public support for the events. Here. As the candidates for the 2022 Winter Olympics have come down to Almaty, Kazakhstan, and Beijing, China, which was the host city of the 2008 Summer Olympics here. Andrew Luck is off to his best start, but he did not focus on his stats sheet. Decades evidence and tested the better trajectories of Baltimore's butt Schwartz with 3 layers. Too much of what he says that he permitted that the most of his audience probably realized. In Rio de Janeiro, preparation for the 2016 Olympics, the Rio de Janeiro made a lot of progress in the last 6 months, but the schedule remains like the end of our season, special teams said Wednesday. That may be Peter Channel News. Late Night reported this. October 1st, 2014 on Wednesday night, PGO with 0. Good night, and we look forward to you tomorrow morning with a morning report. Good night, and a good positive to all. See you tomorrow morning. Good night.